Good morning, folks. This is Deb. So, on June 24th, 2022, the ultra conservative right wing Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, taking away a woman's right to choose, throwing 50 years of legal precedent into the dustbin of American history like it meant nothing to anybody. That's why I'm here today. So let's look back. During the whole preamble to this overturn, we were warning people on the streets of Boston that it was coming. And you know what? We were out there in the heat telling people Roe was going to be overturned. And we're in a pretty safe state here in Massachusetts. It's pretty bright blue, and we intend to keep it that way. But a lot of people here were saying, no, that will never happen. It's been around for 50 years. That doesn't matter, because Donald Trump stated openly in 2016 when he was running that he intended to appoint Supreme Court justices to do just exactly what they did. And here we are now in 2024, and we are watching a domino effect in women's rights. Okay, they're on the abortion pill they're weighing in on. They are coming for your contraception. They are restricting women in some states from traveling to get an abortion. They're introducing legislation to register pregnant women. That's what they want to do. They want to register pregnant women under the guise of making sure they get all the help they need to raise happy and healthy children. What they are registering pregnant women for is to make sure women don't get an abortion. Okay? Let me just make that plain and simple. And there's a whole host of other things that have happened because of this. Violence against women has increased. Women are waiting in parking lots at hospitals to become sick enough to be able to get an abortion in restrictive states. Do you think that's the way people should have to live in 2024? Because I certainly don't. And I certainly don't believe that the issue of a woman's right to choose her health care needs is a topic for discussion in either state, local, or federal government. It is none of the government's business. And if the GOP wants to talk about government overreach, we can start right here. Women now are in the majority in the US population, and we need to start acting like that. You know, I don't care if you're not a woman of childbearing age, neither am I. But I really take personal offense at what has been done in this country to women after I spent years fighting for my rights and fighting for equality and fighting for the right to make my own decisions about what's right for me. And that's what everybody should have the right to do without any government interference. You know, the right wing and the GOP isn't done yet. I'm reading articles out there now about how they're coming for divorce next, so women can stay in abusive relationships and continue to suffer. None of this is okay. And we need to make sure of one thing. You know, back when I was trying to get people on the streets over this issue, I used to use the example of Poland, okay? Because it's a real struggle to get Americans out there sometimes, okay? I used the example of Poland, where when Poland's government tried to institute restrictive abortion laws, over 1 million women poured out onto the streets. But guess what? None of that changed the fact that they now have some of the most restrictive abortion laws in the world. What really needs to happen to make change is we need to vote. We cannot sit things out anymore. If you're a woman, I don't care if you're childbearing age or not, you must know somebody who has children, female children. You might have grandchildren. You need to think of the world that you're leaving them, not the world that you live in. So voting is what really makes change here. Voting is our power. And we have the power in November to send Donald Trump packing for good. But more than that, we need to remove the GOP from office. They will not relent, okay? They will not relent. They will not be going away. So our numbers in November need to be gigantic. 65% is what came out for Barack Obama. We need to do the same thing. This is what we need to do. We win in a landslide. We eliminate as many of the GOP as we can so that we can get our rights back. And then we need to continue to defend them because all of these seats will be up again in 2026. This needs to be a habit-forming election for the Democratic Party voters, for the independents who don't know where to go, and for the old school Republicans who really don't embrace MAGA. So let's get this done in November. Let's send a message, ladies. Let's have the biggest voter turnout of women that this country has ever seen. And make sure they vote blue, because the other side of the coin are the ones causing these problems. They are not going to listen to you. They are going to make sure that Project 2025's plans for women are instituted in the United States. Before we go, I'd like to remind everybody that the most vocal and vibrant group out there protesting after the overturn of Roe were high school girls who continued day after day to walk out in protest. More than half of these kids are now voting age, and they need to be heard, and they will be heard. We have told you already that we have an announcement coming on the 27th, and we do, but beyond the 27th, within a couple of weeks after the 27th, we will be announcing a new program to help energize young activists across the nation, young organizers across the nation, to help us get the vote out. We need everybody at the polls in November, folks. This is not the time to look away. We need volunteers right here in our group, in Women4Democracy, to help us spread the word on social media. There will be an email address at the bottom of all of the information we put in the description of this video that you can send us an email and volunteer and help us out. Let's get this country back on track so that everybody has rights. And ladies, I am particularly calling out to you today. I'll talk to you all later.